What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Traklife exclusive interview. My name is Dom. I'm a writer, editor, producer with Traklife, and I'm joined today by someone very near and dear to our family, our artist select for the month of February, the meticulously multi-talented Mark W. How are you, man? What's going on?
I'm good, bro. You even answered my little question at the end. How are you? That's
I
what
didn't put the flair on the you, but I didn't want to take your style totally.
Oh no, man. By all means, I do this for everybody to take, man. I can't complain, bro. I've been really busy coordinating interviews and trying to get music videos shot, all while getting my regular work done that I do during the week. So I definitely got on many hats, as you can see behind me. I got on every hat that I could possibly wear. But all in all, I've been good, bro. Been good.
Yeah, and congratulations to you, man. Not just on being named Artist Select, but on your latest project, Talking to Myself, Side A, out now on all platforms. Uh,
Yes, get
I know
that.
the first weekend it was performing a bit better than you had anticipated. You were trying to stay humble a little bit, but you could see that you were pretty proud. How are you feeling about the reception and the feedback you've gotten from the project so far?
So far, the reception has been good. Like you mentioned, the coming out the gate. I think out of the first weekend we did 37,000 streams, and now it's starting to taper off. Now we're at about 40 something thousand streams, and it's still going, but it's slowed down quite a bit. But I can't complain about it, man. I really have embraced this new level of popularity, as it were, because I never really saw myself as a popular person or a popular artist like that. But people have really been gravitating toward it and digging in deep into the lyrics. I know it sounds fun at first, but now they're actually coming back and telling me like, oh, like might be a problem. They actually listen to it and go, wow, I didn't think you were talking about that. So yeah, it's been good overall. I got a few people that's like, man, I wish you could do more of the boom bap stuff. And to that, I just say, stay patient. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming for sure. Yeah.
I remember you had said something about a conversation that you had with your wife about setting a realistic goal for how many streams, would make you satisfied. And if I'm not mistaken, you wanted over the course of 4 months, 2,000 streams. And
Yeah, that's
in 3 days, you
so.
get about 15 times that. So
Yeah.
what is that motion kind of like for you?
That's well, it causes a lot of reevaluation as far as what I consider to be a tangible goal. Like, we set ceilings for ourselves, and we set little benchmarks to let us know we've gotten somewhere. And it's cool to keep it realistic. And just to give a backstory, the reason why we set it so low was because the last release I had, Let Me Tie My Shoes, in the course of about 3 months, it did about 2,000 streams. So I can only base the next project off the last thing I released. And now that song has cracked about 4,000. It's doubled in less time. But at the same time, you don't want to stretch yourself out to where you get disappointed if you don't reach it. Now, if you set it so low like I did, I wouldn't suggest anybody set it that low. But if you set it so low that now you don't know where to go from that point, then you got to reevaluate. And that's where I'm at right now. I got to reevaluate what a real goal is, and then ultimately come back to like, what is it that you're doing it for? So that's the place I'm at now. But all in all, the fact that we cracked that goal in the span of a weekend is mind blowing, and I'm more than overjoyed and grateful to everybody who listened to it.
Yeah, and it seems like you're starting to get your flowers for all the work that you've put in over time. And you actually helped launch the Traklife Twitch channel with the Talking to Myself experience,
Wow,
which was
I didn't know. That's dope.
You were like the first stream, the first listening party that we did, hosted by Hazel. Shout out Hazel Joy, of course. You went
Man, shout out Hazel Joy.
Shout
Yeah.
out, of course. She filled in for you on some homemade sessions.
Yeah.
She's a huge part of what we do here at Traklife. You guys went track by track, broke down the album. If you missed it at home, catch the replay on Traklife's YouTube channel. So with this artist select interview, rather than kind of just continue to dissect the album, I wanted to kind of dissect Mark W instead to get to know the person behind the mic. So
Sure.
just like you were saying, you wear a lot of hats, right? What does a day in the life of Mark W look like? I assume very
Ooh,
busy.
that's a great question. So if we just go typical day by day, I wake up at about 7 o'clock, 7:30. If I'm pushing it, it's like 7:45. But I wake up about that time. Me and the wife go out for a walk. We recently restructured that because we both hate waking up in the morning to go walking around the block. But typically we wake up, get our blood pumping. I come back to the house. I get my morning shake because I don't like eating breakfast. I really don't like eating, period. But I'm trying to get out of the habit of not eating, so I'll make my shake, and then immediately I come into my office, which y'all see here, and I kind of crack down the day. If you see that calendar behind me, it's can't really read anything, but it's full. So I kind of tackle everything bit by bit. So I do a lot of video editing, a lot of graphics, whatever mixing things I have going on, I'll tackle that, and I'll try to take it step by step. But what you don't see is I got two computers here. I got one for graphics right in front of you guys, and then one for music. What ends up happening is I'll split, and then things kind of get halfway done, so I end up having to stay up really late to just really focus my mind on one thing. So it's kind of a mix between getting video work done and graphics designed, and then getting mixes done for my clients, and then taking that back to mastering and then do the edits, the clean version and the performance version, all that goodness. But a day typically starts at about 7, and then ends at, it's on a good day, 2 a.m. on a good day. So on average, yeah, on average,
Are you
I'm
getting any
probably
sleep out there, man?
yeah, no. So I do have a day for myself on Mondays. Typically, Monday is my day off, and that's when I just kind of lounge around the house, and I don't lounge for too long. I'll sleep in till about 9, and I'll just kind of bump around, watch TV. And then about 12 o'clock, I'm back in here doing something. You know, probably doing something for myself, or just kind of tying up some loose ends I didn't finish during the week. But Mondays are typically my day off. So I'm not Garfield, where I don't hate Mondays. I actually like Mondays.
To him. So just like what you're saying, I mean, you're an artist, you rap, you sing, you produce, video editing, graphics, you're an audio engineer, a
Yeah,
host. At the end of the day, you're a husband too. Of all
yeah.
the hats you wear, which one do you think fits the best or is like most comforting? And like you kind of just jog back to that one and you say, like, you know what, this is comfortable for me.
It's probably gonna throw some people off, but being a husband, that job, in my view, is the most fulfilling. It's the most rewarding. It's the one that gives me the most joy at the end of the day because, like we all do, like whether you're with your partner, you're with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or just somebody you really like, you're doing it to impress them and not for nothing. All this stuff I'm doing is to bring home bacon to make sure that she's good. So that's the most rewarding hat that I wear. So and then at any given point, if anything goes wrong, where she's not happy, I'm stopping all of this. Like we talked about this when we got married. I said, if you want me to stop doing music today, I will. I hope you don't ask for that, but if you ask me to stop today, I will. So, and luckily she hasn't, and I'm still doing what I love to do. But that's the most fulfilling hat that I wear, being a husband.
Okay, wow, you dropping a lot of knowledge for the unmarried folks like myself out here.
Hey, it's a good. I mean, it's not for everybody, but if you decide to go down that path, one day, just know that you're living for more than just yourself. When you're single, you're doing everything for yourself, so you kind of giving yourself a lot of leeway. Like, I didn't get it done today, I'll get it done tomorrow, or I'll get it done next week. But when you're living for somebody else, it's like, all right, either I'm gonna get this thing done and bring this home, or I'm not gonna do it at all and find something that's gonna make that ends meet. So yeah, it really comes down to making sure you're living for not just yourself.
So kind of on the opposite side of that question then, which of these different things that you do kind of challenges you the most?
I would say, that challenges me the most. Okay, so on the music side of things that I do, the one that's challenging the most is being able to market. Now that don't confuse that with having the tools to market, because I can pump out a really dope graphic. I can pump out a really dope visual, or a really cool song. But when it comes to marketing that thing and making sure your timing and when you place it and algorithm based and all that, making sure it's something that people like or people will engage with, that is the most difficult piece. Like I've still yet to crack that, and I'm trying not to spend money on marketing like that. Although in the past I have, and for this album in particular I have, but I'm trying to figure out how I can make that work myself before I go and pay somebody full on right. Because with any job that you have, just like if you're a worker on an assembly line or a worker at a restaurant and your manager or your supervisor is telling you do this, do that, do this, and they have never done the work themselves, how can they really tell you how to do that job efficiently? In the same sense, if I'm telling somebody I need you to do this, I can't confidently tell them to do this if I don't know what it takes to get it done. So in my view, if I feel like I want this done, I need to know the inner workings of that. So at this point, like with my videos and all that, I've been in a director seat. So when I hire somebody to be a director, I know what I'm telling them and what I want and speaking in the language that they have. So it's the same with the marketing. So I'm still trying to crack that. It's the most difficult hat that I have. And I wouldn't even say it's a full hat. I'd say it's like a visor with the hair still sticking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even mention that when I was listing all your stuff. You do like all your own marketing. Like I know you were doing on your Instagram like a countdown like 10 days before you release Talking to Myself, all that. You do all your own promo too.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like a one-man band in a sense of
In a
how
sense, I do.
how you complete a project from start to finish.
That's for sure. And I do have to say this. I did have some help. So now I'm putting up like these Instagram stories that kind of show like comment bubbles from people that have talked about the album and all that. I didn't do those. My guy Shy Light did those. We've been trying to help each other out a lot because we both have the same view as far as marketing and being able to know what to do with that. So I'll do some work for him and he'll do some work for me. So it's not just me on the marketing piece. I'll talk with him a lot as far as like how I should roll something out. And we both have different views about it, so we clash a lot. But I have to give Shyla his props. He has helped me a lot for the Talking to Myself project. Yeah.
Shout out Shylight. You guys worked together on an album project together.
Yes,
Um,
we did.
Yep. So kind of just switching gears for a second here.
Mhm.
Um, Everyone kind of like has their doubts sometimes or like questions what their purpose is or whether they're on the right path, right? Was
Yeah.
there ever a moment where you thought that this wasn't for you and maybe you considered going like a traditional 9 to 5 day job route?
Constantly. That is a constant. That's a constant thing in my mind. Uh, Along the way, like if you don't get, I mean, real surface level, if you don't get the reception of a certain piece of material that you release, you get that, oh shit, maybe I made the wrong decision here, or maybe I should have turned left. And then there's the financial piece where it's like, this isn't really bringing me any money. But then you also got to think of what type of spirit do you have? What type of energy do you have on a day in, day out basis? I used to have the 9 to 5 grind, very typical. Most people don't know this. My closest people know, but I used to be an accountant for DirecTV. Right. Yeah, I did that for
Didn't
about.
expect that. I did not
Yeah,
expect
I
that.
know. I know. I'm actually pretty good with numbers, but I used to do. I was doing that for about 2 years, day in, day out. I was making real good money, real good money on a weekly basis. But I was I was depressed. I didn't want to get up. Like, look, I lived 5 minutes from that job. I was late every day. I didn't want to get out of bed. When I got home, I barely wanted to touch the microphone. I did, but I barely wanted to. My writing suffered. My relationships at the time suffered. My friends even couldn't stand me. So for me, it becomes a matter of what brings you joy, devoid of the money. If the money is coming slow, all right, but are you happy? Are you cool with yourself? Do you take yourself like I'm sorry, are you happy with yourself at the end of the day? And at this point in my life, I'm probably busier than I was when I was working a traditional 9 to 5. I sleep less than I did when I had a traditional 9 to 5, but I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to do work. And I don't even really see it as work. It's just like, what do I feel like doing today? And I'm happy in that space. Now I get frustrated in the project, but for the most part, I'm very content, very happy every day. Like I'm always smiling at people. I really want to know how people are doing. So it becomes what brings you the best energy in what you're doing. And if that brings you good energy, if you feel good about yourself, then I think you're in your right purpose. Yeah.
So one of my favorite kind of questions to ask anybody who's done something for a decade or more, right?
Mhm.
Which, I mean, you've been doing this a long time, maybe not full time professionally, but you've been
Yeah.
doing this for a minute. How do you
For a
keep
long-
yourself from becoming jaded? Like, how do you ensure that that creative spark is still there for you?
I'm always looking for something different. Always looking for something different. It could be like if listen to a song that I don't think is all that well produced, I then start to look into that mentality of like how'd they get here? What made them like that? What made them enjoy that process of making that song? Even if I don't particularly care for it, or I'll switch genres. Like I'll listen to some emo or some EDM, or just kind of switch it up, and try to put myself in their shoes as far as what caused them to make those sounds, and then try to find out what it is in that genre that I like. Like, oh, okay, I like this sound, or I like this tempo, or I just trying to switch it up constantly because uh, I've been, if we talk about hip hop specifically, it's easy to get jaded when you come from the '90s era, growing up listening to that stuff. Um, I was I was heavy on West Coast hip hop. I was heavy on Mos Def, Talib, Black Thought, Pharoah Monch. The list goes on. Biggie Smalls, Tupac. The list goes on. But you can get jaded when you listen to music that comes out in 2021. Like, oh man, it's not that. But there is something in that that can spark something, maybe a new flow, a new subject matter, a new way to approach making music. So if you find yourself being jaded, just try switching it up and putting yourself in that person's shoes for a second. Even if you don't like it, try a different pair of shoes on, but just see what you can bring back to your own artistry, just so you keep it fresh and keep it engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's honestly really good advice. Just, I mean, having sat in quarantine for the past year, it's very easy to kind of have these thoughts of self-doubt or to get bored with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that advice to
Very.
keep it fresh and just explore new things, that's solid, man.
Oh yeah, if even if you just read a book, like because I know, like you said, we're in quarantine, so we're very much so segregated and isolated in our spaces. But allow your mind to wander. That's a great spot to be in when you're not bombarded with all this stuff. Because you going outside, it's easy to get distracted by your phone. It's easy to get distracted by something that's rolling past, somebody talking to you. But if you're secluded, you can easily turn everything off. You can take yourself off the grid real easy. And at that point, just allow your mind to wander. Wander in a book, wander in some new music that you didn't think you would like. You'll find something that you really enjoy that you didn't anticipate. So yeah, allow your mind to just run around for a second.
Damn,
Keep
okay. Okay. So you did mention a lot of legendary hip hop names who have inspired you. You are from Inglewood. How would you say that that has shaped you as an artist?
um it shaped me to one, the artists that I listened to often used words that I wasn't familiar with. So it just off top, it made me want to pick up a thesaurus. It made me want to pick up a dictionary. It made me want to read and find out what it is exactly they're talking about. Now, come to find out, they're talking about really stuff that I already know, but they presented it in such a way that made me go research, and look at it from a different perspective. So that caused me to, in my own world, like you might have this glass in front of you, but how else can you describe this glass without saying the typical words that you're used to hearing? Then, coming from Inglewood, it's we got the typical inner city problems, uh, inner city ups and inner city downs. But for me, I wasn't from that side of the street. I'm really from a family that's well off, more or less, especially more so at this point in my life. But when I was young, growing up, I looked at I looked at my friends who didn't have as much as I had, from a different lens, because I know what it's like to eat at the end of the day. I know what it's like to come home and we can go get something to eat. My mom didn't really cook like that, but I knew what it was like to have a have a cooked meal at the end of the night. Some of my friends didn't. So I'm looking at that with a different viewpoint. Like, what is that like? So when I talk about some struggles from that vantage point, I'm talking from it as somebody on the outside looking in. I just have a different way that I paint the same picture that everybody else does. And then obviously, as I got older and I stopped living with my parents, I understood what hardship was. But uh, at a younger age, I didn't know what that was like. So it afforded me a different vantage point to be able to talk about it. And I don't think that's to be forsaken, because a lot of the digesters of hip hop um, do know what it's like to have a place of means. Like, they come from a place of means, more or less. And they're looking at it from the outside in, but they're looking at it from that person's perspective actually in it. But if you listen to my story, you know what it's like to sit in that seat and be like, wow, that's really what it looks like. Plus, I am close friends with some of these people. So I can tell you what their feelings really are from my lens, from my vantage point. So I think that's what has afforded my artistry and what I'm able to produce for people listening.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Very nice. Very insightful stuff, man.
Appreciate it.
So kind of just switching gears again, get into a little more fun stuff.
Okay.
Less background about you. All right, certain artists need to get a mood, get the energy right before they lock
Mm.
into that creative zone and record. They might need to like burn some incense, or they like the lights flashing, or maybe they need to roll up something, right?
Right.
Mark W.
Roll up something if you got it. Pull up something if you
Yes, yes, exactly. What does Mark W do when he's trying to get into that creative zone and start recording?
There's a myriad of things. Because I have the luxury of recording in my home, I find myself getting hit with that emotion, and then I can do it right then and there. But if I'm in somebody else's studio session, or if somebody sees me a track that they want me to jump on, I dabble in acting. I've never done anything professional visually. I've done a lot of vocal acting, but I dabbled in acting, and I'm able to put myself in that place where I need to be to emote what it is that's come across. It doesn't take a whole lot, but I'll say this: I like to be left alone for periods of time when I am in that creative mode. Because not so much getting into it, but once I am into it, if my phone rings, I'm pissed. Like, if it's a text message, I'm completely upset. And I don't mean like, damn, leave me alone. I mean, I'm livid. I'm probably gonna throw it across the room,
Yeah.
because it took so long to get to that spot, or I'm in this space and I need to create it all the way. I'm the type that likes to ride that emotion all the way until it's complete. Give you an example. Last year, my grandmother passed, and it took a heavy toll on me. So, and I knew I wanted to write a song about that. So I found myself in a very emotional state one night, picked out a beat, and it ended up being a Jacket for Beats instrumental. Which one was it? Tribe by Boss featuring J. Cole.
Okay.
And what I did, that was the beat that just struck out to me. And I found myself in a very emotional state. So I was writing from that point. And then when I go to record it, I record the first verse fine, record the hook fine, and I go to the second verse and I get to that one part that I know is gonna mess me up, and I just can't get past a certain line because I can't help but keep crying. In fact, if you go back and listen to that song, it's called "Switch Places" on YouTube. If you happen to want to look it up, but it's called "Switch Places," and there's a part in the song where you can still hear a, a little part of me whimpering, because I just could not record past that spot with doing it cleanly. So I like to ride the emotion all the way out until it's done. And when it's done, then I'll let it sit and come back to it. I'll make adjustments and all that. But to get into the mode, I just need to be able to mentally zone out. I don't necessarily need incense. I don't need to roll. I actually don't drink and I don't smoke. So I don't I don't do that anymore. I used to do it a lot, and I used to think that helped me. But now I've gotten to a point where I don't need the additives to get to that place. I just need to be able to be left alone for a period of time. So that's what I do to get into that space.
Damn, but you got a different strategy than most artists, I'd say.
I know a few that do the same, but I appreciate where I'm at. Yeah, I know what it takes for me to get there.
Yeah, and I mean that's honestly all that it's about. I mean, if you know how to tap into that zone, then I mean, the work's got to come easy after that.
I Yeah, for the most part. I think if you let it flow, sometimes we
Mhm.
get in our own way. I've definitely been known to do that. Shy like my former group mates from Lost Dialect, Dirty Red, he's mad at me for that. Mr. Red, Jaquay, like they know, they know what it takes for me to be in that space. And then they know how to pull me out of it when I'm going in too deep. But yeah, I overthink sometimes, so that's when the work starts happening. And like Jay-Z said, if you're thinking, you're no longer creating. You just gotta let it flow.
Damn, that's a no start right there.
I
So this
wish I could
this
take credit for that bar. That was not mine. That was Jay-Z.
is Mark W original.
Yeah, right, man. I wish I'm gonna get sued. I took that straight from an interview. Yeah.
All right, so this next question I was super excited to ask you. I'm not gonna hype it up or anything, but
Okay.
all right, you're familiar with the game F Mary Kill?
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right, this is a hip hop version of that called
All
OG
right.
Collab Diss. Way it works, I'm gonna give you three rappers. You pick one to be your OG.
What was the first one again? It was like what? Collab this?
OG collab disc. You choose one to
Got
be OG, one that you got to collab with, whether it's a song or an album, and one you got to make a diss track about.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna do three SoCal rap legends:
Woo!
Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Ice Cube.
God damn! Oh, that hurts, bro. That hurts. Oh, all right. Um, I gotta wipe this off the table because all of them is gonna hurt me if I come back from all of them is gonna hurt. Let's see. OG. I'm gonna give that title to I'm gonna give that title to Ice Cube. No, take that back. Get that title to Snoop because Snoop definitely. I mean, if you watch how he moves in social media and representation and interviews and things like that, he's definitely one to lace game and do it in like a little, real player type way. As far as collab, I would collab with Tupac. Now, and I got to give you this point, and a lot of people not gonna like me for this. When I was a kid, I actually was not a fan of Tupac. I was more on the Biggie side of things. Now, not to say that I was like involved in East Coast, West Coast, but if you ask me who I listen to more, I listen to Biggie more. And you can kind of tell by the way I deliver stuff. But I definitely respect what Tupac did. I just never bought a Tupac album. I listen to him all the time. I just never bought one. I bought Biggie albums. And then with Tupac, yeah, I would collab with Tupac just because, like I said, because I never really soaked in his music on a regular basis. I would love to see what that energy would be like in the studio. And then with Ice Cube, I'm gonna get advice from him. I just want to sit in the room and chop with him. Like he don't have to be OG or nothing. I just need to talk with him. I'm not dissing none of them artists you named.
I was gonna say Ice Cube's the only one left, man. If you're gonna throw that diss out there, get ready for No
Hell no.
Vaseline 2 starting
I'm
March
about to say
7th.
we heard no Vaseline and what he did with four-man. No, fuck out of here. I know I am not gonna be one subject to that. Nah, I just want to be able to be in a room and chop it up with dude. Snoop, I feel like he'll give me a lot of good advice just because he's still very much so connected to the culture. Not to say that Ice Cube isn't, but we know Snoop is connected with the culture.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, I think, is on another platform, so I would love to just sit and just soak up his energy and see where he's at. But I'm dissing nobody. Let's keep that
Okay,
straight.
okay. I couldn't get you to burn any bridges there. So
Hell no.
instead, yeah, instead of kind of drawing lines with this one, let's just show love for hip hop, right? Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, good one. Mount Rushmore has four heads.
Four, yeah.
Four heads. All right. So my Mount Rushmore. My first one, and I say this all the time. It's my older brother, Prime Minister. He is my number one pick on it. He can produce, he can sing, he can rap, he can arrange. He knows how to coordinate with a band. He plays several instruments, and he's teaching me constantly. So that's number one. Number two would be the Mighty Most, Black Dante, Yasin Bey, however you know him. That's number two, because he was such a pivotal entity in me understanding what hip hop can do, what you could do on the mic. His vocal control is crazy. And I just love his presentation, his whole style, his steez is uniquely his own. I've always been enamored by that dude. Then after that would be Andre 3000. Was that, no, that's three, right? Yeah, so it'd be Andre 3000 because his, again, style, presentation, very much so unorthodox. And to me, he had one of the biggest transformations in hip hop when it comes to style, going from Southern Playalistic to AT Aliens. Like it's almost night and day. Like it doesn't even sound like the same person. But the way he finesses it now, like you can't mistake an Andre 3000 verse for anybody else. In fact, when somebody writes like him, automatically you think, did he write? It's automatic off top. His style is so undeniable. And then last but not least, certainly not least, would be Pharoah Monch. Pharoah Monch is somebody that I love how he scats his rhymes on beat. And yet you think he's not on a pattern, but he is. He has a very jazzy approach to things. He's definitely very influential to my pen and my flow. I can't say, if you listen to anything I've done in my past, not so much on the Talking to Myself, but just before that with Without Permission, you can't deny that he has had an influence in my writing capabilities. So that would be my Mount Rushmore. Prime Minister, Most Def, Andre 3000, Pharoah Monch.
That sounds like a quality list to me, man.
Man, that's, and if you're not familiar with Prime Minister, go look him up. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Check out his Raw stream. He was on Raw stream. Episode 2, one of the very first guests that we had. Yes. Go check that out.
I wasn't gonna have him on the same episode I was on. No, I'm not gonna get bodied by my big brother. No, that ain't about to happen. Ain't about to happen. No.
I see you pulling a little producer trick right there.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, we're both grateful for it because he got to shine and I got to shine. We don't have to be compared. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, Mark, I know you're a very busy guy. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to me. You're a big part of the Traklife family. Before I let you go, when you're hosting Raw Stream, you always try to pick an artist's brain, get them to drop some insight into the music industry, starting their career, life in general. Right. You know where this is going. I got to turn the tables on you, Mark W.
Okay.
If you could throw a little knowledge dart or drop a piece of advice or a motto that really resonates with you.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. This is easy. Figure out how to do it yourself. Always figure out how to do it yourself. Even if you're not that good at it, as long as you try to figure out the mechanics of it. So whether it be recording yourself, videotaping yourself, putting together your own album artwork, just keep trying it. Figure out how to do that yourself to a degree where it's presentable. Like I said earlier in the interview, if you figure that out, nobody can tell you what it takes to get a thing done. Nobody can dictate to you how your artistry should look. Somebody that I work with on a constant goes by D Smoke. He is somebody that I'm constantly impressed by. Anytime he goes on set, anytime he gets ready to put out a project or shoot a music video, he is very much so hands-on. I still do graphics for him, so he'll jump on the phone with me and let me know, like, yeah, I want it to look like this. Can we try this? Can we try that? Because I know that he has all the capabilities of doing it himself. So he knows what he wants to see. He knows what it takes to get the job done. Now he asks other people because he's aware that other people are better than him at certain things. But if you don't know how to do it yourself, you're just kind of asking and walking away, and you're in the palms of somebody else. And that's not how you want to attack your artistry at all. You want to be in full control. Don't be ashamed to, get down and dirty with it. You know what I mean? So that would be my bit of advice. Find out how to do it yourself first, and then hire somebody that might be better than you. Yeah.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. For Traklife, for Mark W, I'm Dom. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Be sure to stream Talking to Myself, Side A, out on all platforms. You got something to say, Mark?
Oh yeah. Before we get out of here, I just gotta say, Dom, I'm so glad that you're a part of the Raw Street family, bro. Like, you know, you came in as an intern, you was mad quiet, but you done opened up. Now you doing interviews and doing write-ups and stuff. And yo, that side angle for everybody watching, that side angle that you see at the stage where you can actually see the performer and the DJ, that's Dom behind the camera.
That hands
And he's
camera
editing the
work.
homemade sessions. Yeah.
Man,
So
listen,
y'all,
I was trying to hide behind the logo for so long, but you just put me out in the open. But yes,
oh, I got to. Nah. That's what that's what I do well. I can put the spotlight on somebody else real easy. This is what I do for a living. So
yeah,
look,
you became the host for a
I gotta
second
give
there.
you props, I gotta give you props, bro.
Hey,
Got to.
I appreciate it, bro. Just like what you said, just learning how to do this type of stuff myself before I go out and pay somebody else to do it, you know?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what, Mark, thank you so much. It was a great conversation. Thank you so much, everybody watching. Like I said, go stream it. New project, Talking to Myself, Side A. Check out all of Mark W's live sessions, raw stream performances. All of that is on the Traklife YouTube page. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Peace.
He's big.